Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to the Sabbath chat on this pursuit to Christ. And also, I'm doing the YouTubes together, Shula Ministries Entertainment and Associates Inc., um, Overcomers Anonymous. Check me out on either video, depending on which one you're on now. And so basically, on this rest and worship Sabbath, on the Sabbath chat, we kind of like pull together what we talked about on Monday and Tuesday, which is basically not giving up and being sure that you are connected with Christ, who is undefeated and who is victorious, and our victory is in Him. On Shula Ministries Overcomers Anonymous, we talk about basically what resonated with me. And so basically, I wanted to kind of like do a recap, and I think that it would answer both scenarios. I want to do a recap on this morning's Power Hour. Allegheny East Conference is in there, or camp meeting, 2021 camp meeting. And so we have speakers, not every hour, I would say morning, mid morning, afternoon, and evening. And it kind of ends today. So there'll be like a concert. If it's not already going on, it will be going on. And so it's about revival, pretty much. It's about revival coming away. And it usually lasts for like 10 days. And it went on from like, I think it started about the 25th, and like I said, it ends today. If we were actually on grounds, we would be packing up and getting ready to leave tonight and be gone by tomorrow. So I wanted to kind of recap because I thought it was just great, his message. So basically, the title of the encampment was, or is, Undefeated. One word. And so, of course, you know that it's referring ultimately to Christ. And it actually, there's like a compelling kind of question like, where are you in the word or in the experience of being undefeated? Are you on the side of being undefeated, winning battles one after another, sometimes losing some, okay? Or are you on the side of being defeated? Or have you not even decided to be in the game to run the race of this thing called Christianity, just kind of playing it safe? But wherever you find yourself, I hope that you stay with us, that, while we finish this recap. So, okay. So, my name is Sheila Rollins, and I am the founder of both Shula Ministries Entertainment and Associates Inc., and also the pursuit to Christ. Okay, and so basically, it's about drawing people closer to Christ and helping them to overcome anything, and we do it through basically with Jesus Christ being a higher power, and also what He's accomplished for us on a cross. Therefore, our deliverance, our holiness, our sanctification, our completeness. Okay, the things that we thought were impossible becomes possible with Christ. But we must do our part by being obedient, following His precepts, His tools that He left. You do something wrong, give forgiveness, be in His good graces. And then He asks for us to keep His commandments, His laws, and do the right thing. Keep the commandment also including the fourth commandment, where He admonishes us to remember the Sabbath day, which it is today, the seventh day of the week, to remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days shall I labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Hallowed means He set it aside for holy purposes. Okay, this is the only day that He did this, and it's the seventh day. So okay, so basically, um, Elder Pete Palmer was his name that presented the message. And basically his title was um, Everybody Has a Fight. And so we find ourselves in this fight of life. And, whether we chose God or not to be our leader, determines whether or not we're victorious. Okay. And so basically, he said that those that has not chosen God or Christ will basically fall into idolatry. Briefly, idolatry is, in a nutshell, in this sense, is falling into the things that their parents or our parents refuse to conquer, be it drugs, be it alcohol, be it fornication, whatever laws of God's that they can break. Idolatry, where they are honoring the parent, living in pride and being haughty in the face of God and losing the battle. And so basically, um, so he talked about how Israel, during a time where they had good leaders and good judges, and I believe this was before they had kings, when they had a good leader and a good judge, Israel won battles and won wars and stuff, and they obeyed God and they did good. But the moment that they lost a judge or a leader, they went back to their old ways of idolatry. And so when they went back, it came a time where they didn't have a judge. And so basically the judges back in a day was like leaders in battles or rulers of peace, which basically today, if you think about it, that defines a little bit, that defines Christ. Okay. And so in that definition with Christ, it's like we have to hold on to him in order to be undefeated as he was undefeated. Okay. It talked about how basically that when they found themselves without a leader, that's Israel or God's people. When they found themselves without a leader, they basically did not connect to their history. In other words, he talked about how in history we know that how God had brought Israel out of Egypt. Okay, we know how he parted the Red Sea. You know how he fed the children of Israel manna. We know how he delivered them for Egypt with, the blood on the doorpost, and then it talked about like a three-letter word that he put emphasis on, that it wasn't that they didn't know the history. It was that they did not know it yet for themselves. Okay. And so it's important that we will learn and to know for sure ourselves that we have Jesus Christ, who is undefeated as our leader, as our judge, that will judge this world in the end of time. And that we're confident of this thing, and that we're not holding on to idolatry, but we're holding on Christ and the love of him. It talked about how right, like they didn't know him for themselves. In other words, the battles that they were having, instead of turning and putting their heart out to God, they maybe went to sorcerers. Back in the day, they had sorcerers and, other spiritual mediums that was not a part of God. And they went to, and as a result of this, they displeased God. And one of the worst things that they did that really caused people to come away from godliness is that they intermarried. They married into people with people that did not love God. And they had children by these people. And so for the most part, because it is pretty much our nature to follow what is natural, the wrong thing. The children follow their ungodly parents, and it caused loads of people to be lost. Okay, and so I like the word yet because it's filled with hope and it's filled with opportunity. And there's a suggestion there and a question that is just kind of like subtle but yet profound that says, will you accept the undefeated Jesus Christ as your Lord, your Savior, and soon comer King? So basically, that's all I have for you. Look in the description, which is the arrow next to the title, and I'll have some scriptures there. If you want to make a comment, scroll all the way down below and make a comment on anything that you like. If you've accepted Christ, what are some victories that He's won for you? Um, on anything that you like, or just say hello. Okay, so I love you. This is all I have for you. Remember, I'm a speaker, spiritual things, relationships, health. Invite me out. Invite me out. Now, to Him that is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before the presence of His glory with exceeding joy, to the only wise God, our Savior, be glory and majesty, dominion and power, both now and ever. I love you. See you in the next YouTube. And remember, there's a war going on for your soul. Jesus is the only name. Don't be fooled. Jesus is the only name given among men whereby we can be saved. Choosing before it's too late. And it ain't over. It ain't over until God says it is over. So keep fighting until your victory is won. Yes, I love you. See you in the next YouTube.